Ram's new compact pickup just had a premiere in Brazil, and believe it or not, the first batch of 500 models was sold out in just 28 minutes. Such an overwhelming interest in the new model isn't surprising at all, and it is yet another clear indicator that the new model was designed for a much bigger market, such as North America. So, without further ado, let's check all the amazing features and find out why the all-new RAM Rampage wows everybody. More or less subtle indicators. The brand new RAM Rampage just had a premiere in Brazil, and we're all delighted with its design. It's not just about the truck's layout, it's also about some clear hints that suggest that the company has much bigger plans, including the US launch. First of all, there's the overall size of the pickup, which is very similar to the Maverick, which is projected as its key rival. Ram's pickup is just a little bit shorter, with a 117.9-inch wheelbase and 198 inches of the total length. On the other hand, it's taller and wider than Ford's compact pickup. This is just one indicator of the company's plans to compete in North America. If you take a closer look at the styling, things become way more obvious. First of all, the exterior design closely resembles the full-size Ram 1500, especially when it comes to the front-end design, with the same grille and headlight design. The Rampage literally looks like a downsized Ram 1500, and that's no surprise if we consider that even though Rampage was developed in Brazil, American designers collaborated on the aesthetics. Speaking of the obvious things, just look at the taillights. You'll see an American flag, something you wouldn't expect from a vehicle that's designed only for Brazil and similar markets. Finally, let's not forget that the Maverick was initially designed in and for Brazil and other South American markets. It makes perfect sense to see the Rampage following the same path. Unibody design has become a segment standard. For a long time, it was believed that Ram's compact pickup would ride on a classic body-on-frame platform. However, it turned out that Ram engineers were aware of the benefits of the unibody platform all the time. They also went for a compromise that takes a bit from the utility aspect but gives a lot in return when it comes to ride quality. The choice was easy. The Rampage will be smooth, maneuverable, and easy to drive rather than capable of towing a trailer. So the all-new RAM Rampage rides on a unibody platform. It's based on a familiar small-wide architecture, the same one that underpins the Jeep Compass as well as the Alfa Romeo Tonale and Dodge Hornet. It's a pretty versatile platform, able to accommodate all kinds of technical solutions, so this choice doesn't surprise at all. Moreover, the Rampage features a pretty refined suspension setup, with a classic McPherson strut in the front and fully independent rear suspension, which should ensure superior ride quality, at least over base versions of the Maverick, which use a torsion beam on the rear end. Powertrain options. As we've just mentioned, one of the benefits of the small wide platform is that it accommodates all kinds of powertrain options. The Brazilian version has just had a premiere, which showed the two powertrain options. One of them is Fiat's well-known 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel with a max output of 170 horsepower. There's also an upgrade in the form of a 2-liter turbo 4 gas engine with 270 horsepower. While the diesel version doesn't seem likely to arrive in North America, the turbo gasoline engine is pretty much a safe pick. Moreover, the company could easily offer an additional variant of this engine with around 200 horsepower, which would power the most basic versions of the truck. As for the transmission, all engines would come with a familiar 9-speed automatic gearbox found in pretty much every Jeep SUV with a transversely mounted engine. What about a hybrid powertrain? The Maverick features a hybrid powertrain. The Santa Cruz will probably get one in the future, while Toyota's upcoming small pickup will certainly come with more than one electrified powertrain option. So it would be strange to see Ram not doing the same. A good thing for this company is that Stellantis already has a system that could easily be applied. Of course, we're talking about the same setup that powers the new Alfa Romeo Tonale as well as the upcoming Dodge Hornet hybrid. That system is based on a small 1.3-liter turbo 4 engine which comes coupled with a single electric motor for a combined output of 288 horsepower. That would be plenty enough to make the Rampage the most powerful compact pickup on the market, while the ability to go solely on electric power would be another obvious benefit. For reference, the aforementioned hybrid crossovers feature a 12 kilowatt-hour battery pack that ensures around 30 miles of range in the EV mode. Off-road potential could be the Rampage's trump card. The Brazilian officials didn't provide many details about off-road features. One thing we know is that one of the trim levels comes with all-terrain tires. However, we have no doubt that there's much more, especially in case the Rampage is planned for the US market. Simply put, this is where Ram could be at a great advantage over the Maverick and Santa Cruz because both of these pickups feature crossover-like all-wheel drive systems with off-road performance that's average at best. The Rampage, on the other hand, would feature a genuine 4-wheel drive system. That's one of the advantages of the small wide platform, which supports all kinds of off-road upgrades. We presume we could see some classic pieces of hardware, such as a locking differential and 2-speed transfer case, along with a modern traction control system, probably borrowed from the Jeep Compass with several selectable drive modes. Towing capacity. As for the towing capacity, we haven't heard much from the Brazilian officials so far. Still, if we consider the unibody design, it's pretty easy to guess that the numbers won't be spectacular. We expect similar ratings to the future classmates Maverick and Santa Cruz. The Maverick is pretty modest in this aspect as base versions can't tow more than 2,000 pounds, while the max rating goes up to 4,000 pounds. The Santa Cruz is much better and offers up to 5,000 pounds of the max towing capacity. We presume that the RAM Rampage could easily beat the Maverick when it comes to base versions. The max rating should also be better, though we still can't say if it'll be on par with the Santa Cruz or not. In terms of the max payload, the Maverick is good for 1,500 pounds, while the Santa Cruz is good for 1,609. Ram's pickup should offer similar ratings. Modern interior. Interior quality is another area where the new Rampage could offer more than its rivals. The cabin in the Brazilian market model already looks pretty impressive even in the base version. That model features a large 12.3-inch infotainment screen along with a 10.3-inch digital instrument cluster. There's also an elegant RAM 1500-like dial gear selector, while the dashboard and the whole cabin look pretty upscale. We presume that the Rampage could also follow the example of its full-size counterpart and offer good sound insulation to make the ride quality even better. As for the passenger space, the new pickup is offered only as a crew cab model as expected. Both rows of seats seem spacious enough to accommodate adults, so we don't expect to see any issues on this matter. As for the bed length, the officials didn't provide us with the exact numbers, but we presume it should be similar to the Maverick and Santa Cruz, which are good for about 4.5 and 4 feet respectively. Another thing worth mentioning is the power tailgate, which will probably be an optional feature. Trim level organization. The Brazilian market model will be offered in 3 trims: Laramie, R/T, and Rebel. These are all familiar monikers in Ram's portfolio, so the North American model could easily use the same organization of equipment groups. In Brazil, the base Laramie already comes with loads of standard equipment, including the aforementioned screens, as well as wireless smartphone integration. The R/T trim is kind of a street performer with a stiffer suspension setup and slightly lower ground clearance. It also features bigger 19-inch black wheels, along with an upgraded exhaust system and additional sport drive mode. Finally, the Rebel trim is a dedicated off-roader. It comes with 18-inch wheels and all-terrain tires, and we presume it'll also feature the off-road upgrades we talked about a few moments ago. Release date and price. As we already mentioned, Ram has already started taking orders in Brazil, and even though the officials are still quiet about the US launch, most sources suggest that could happen already in the next year. The North American RAM Rampage would arrive sometime in 2024 as the 2025 model. As for the price, it's still early to talk about exact numbers. We may presume that Ram's goal would be to match the Maverick's MSRP, so a rough estimation would go around $24,000 for the base model. Details about production are still unknown, but we presume that the US market version won't be imported from Brazil but rather produced somewhere in North America, most likely Mexico, which is one of the preconditions for a competitive price. More details are expected in the near future. Thanks for watching and see you next time.